A question I recently got asked was around the law of attraction, manifestation, and is it real? Can you apply it to your trading? And the truth is, a lot of the law of attraction and manifestation, the way it's promoted is a little wishy-washy, it's a little watery, but there are certain principles that you can implement and into your trading to ensure that whatever goals you set for your trading, whether that's being a full-time trader, a funded trader, managing 7 figures in capital, being able to travel the world and trade, those goals, there are certain principles that you can implement and you can put in place every single day to ensure that you manifest those goals into your life. So what I want to do in today's video is share my thoughts on the law of attraction, on manifestation, and share with you what goal setting principles or manifestation principles and processes I've implemented into my life and that I've shared with many of my students and many of my clients to help them achieve the goals that they would love to achieve in their trading and in their life. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, there are a few caveats with manifestation. Do I believe the law of attraction? Do I believe manifestation is real? Yes, but again, not the wishy-washy stuff. You're never going to, and these are the few caveats we're going to put in place. Caveat number 1 is you're never going to attract or manifest into your life something that is breaking universal principles, meaning that is one-sided in nature. All positive, no negative. All support, no challenge. All up, no down. All positive, all nice, no mean. This one-sided fantasy of all positive without a negative does not exist. And what many people do is they go off and they try and manifest or attract a goal or an outcome or an intimate partner that is all one-sided, positive, supportive, nice, happy, all one-sided, positive without the other side. And then they come to the reality of things. The reality of things is you're going to have both positive and negative, support and challenge, nice and mean. And they ask themselves, what's wrong? I can't manifest. Manifestation doesn't work. And the truth is, this individual's had unrealistic, one-sided expectations, which don't exist anywhere but in a narrow mind, and they think that manifestation can't work. So I do believe manifestation, the law of attraction, do work, but you're going to attract into your life two-sided outcomes or two-sided goals or two-sided individuals, meaning that these things are going to have both positive and negative. They're going to have support and challenge. You're going to be profitable and unprofitable. You're going to have winning streaks. You're also going to have drawdown. You're going to be happy. You're going to be sad. And the truth is you need both sides of the equation to help you continue to grow maximally. Because maximum growth happens when you get both. If you always get positive, if you always get support, if you always get nice, then there's no accountability to grow. There's no challenge, there's no leveling up. So we need both sides of the equation to hold us accountable to continue to grow as traders and as individuals. So caveat number 1 is you're never going to manifest something in your life that is one-sided, all positive, all support, all nice, all profitable. Doesn't exist, okay? And the more and more you desire this fantasy of all positive, and the more you seek after that fantasy, then the more disappointed you're going to be when you have the reality of situations hit you, which is that you're going to have both sides of the equation. So the quicker you learn to acknowledge and appreciate both sides of an outcome or both sides of a goal or both sides of an individual, the more you're going to free yourself up and you're going to be manifesting more things into your life because you have now more realistic expectations. Okay, the other caveat here is you're never going to manifest something in your life that you don't actually work for. A big part of manifestation, a big part of it, is putting energy and time into certain actions, into certain motor actions. And we're bound in this world by universal laws of thermodynamics, which means that we never lose or gain things necessarily. We just have a transformation of things. So in order to transform and in order to have what we want, we have to put time and energy into a certain action to help us get that particular outcome. For example, if you have a goal to manifest a six-pack, just by closing your eyes and thinking that you're going to have this all positive six pack that has no drawbacks and it has no effort, and you're just going to get that, you're going to manifest that in your life, is highly unrealistic. You have to put energy and time into the specific action steps that are proven to get you a six pack. For example, eating less than you consume, and then maybe going to the gym and training your abdominal muscles, and then also doing compound movements. And those proven action steps, if you follow through with them over a long period of time, you can have a six pack, okay? No different with manifestation. If you have a goal to become funded with a $100,000 account, then just closing your eyes and thinking that this all positive goal, no drawbacks, is just going to all of a sudden manifest and you're going to attract that into your life with no work and energy is, in my opinion, very delusional. And rather what you would be very smart to do is firstly identify an edge in the market and have certainty in that edge through, not through delusion, but through testing and proving that that edge is profitable more times than not. And then also running a double blind on that test to figure out everywhere it doesn't work and putting processes and contingencies in place to manage those shortfalls of the edge. And then putting that edge into a mechanical trading plan, and then working on your mindset, managing fear and greed. And by the way, I've got the 6-figure trading plan template in the description. That's the exact trading plan template I give to my 6-figure traders. And I've got the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, which is the first step in helping you manage fear and greed in the markets. And then number 4, consistently, and these 2 tools are free in the description. Then number 4, consistently executing on your mechanical trading plan. Number 2, with a balanced state of mind. Number 3. And if you consistently do that over a period of time, granted you have a proven edge, you're going to get consistently profitable. And then you go for a funded account and you pass the evaluation and you start to scale up through these proven action steps. It's very realistic to say you're going to manifest a goal. Now, is that goal going to be all positive? Is that goal going to only bring you joy and happiness and support and positive things to your life? No, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be greater levels of accountability, greater levels of stress. Losses are going to be bigger. And that funded account is going to make you aware of psychological challenges you weren't even aware of. And you're now going to have the type of problems that traders who trade $100,000 in funding have. So you're just going to go to the next level and you're going to have a new level of support and challenge. So that goal is going to be two-sided. And that goal is going to require the execution of proven action steps, time and energy and effort into that particular goal. Okay? So do I believe manifestation is real? Do I believe the law of attraction is real? Yes. You can sit down every morning like I do, and you can go through your goals and you can write down the things that you would love to have in your life, these outcomes. And then what's even more important than that is that after you go through reading your goals, underneath those outcomes, you have the specific strategy, the specific process that's going to help you get there. Okay? And then after you finish reading your goals, you go in there and you actually get some work done and you focus on the high priority actions that are proven to get you one step closer to your goal. And I have these goals for all areas of my life. And I think over the last 5 or 6 years that I've been doing this, I've started to build momentum in some of those areas of life. And I started to manifest the things into my life that I would love to have. And it's no different with my clients and my students as well. They set goals, they have realistic expectations on these goals, and they work every single day on the proven action steps that are proven to get those goals. And hey, in a year, in 2 years, maybe in 5 years, they then have this particular outcome that they've set in their mind many years ago, and they've manifested this goal. Okay? So this is part 1. Part 2, let's put together an actual manifestation formula that has worked for me, it's worked for my clients. So what's the specific formula that you can follow to ensure that you manifest your goals? So let's say, for example, you have an outcome, you have a goal that you would love to achieve. You want to manifest this particular outcome. Maybe that outcome is managing $250,000 as a trader and being a full-time trader. Okay? Now, the first principle we talked about is ensuring that you recognize that this goal is going to have both advantage and disadvantage. And in fact, if I was working with a particular trader on this goal and helping them achieve this goal, which I do on a daily basis, I would break this goal down into its subcomponents. What does that look like? Well, maybe there's 2 funded accounts there. Maybe one's 100K and the other one's 150K. Or there's 3 accounts, 100, 150. And then the third goal here is being a full-time trader. Okay? Now, each of these goals are going to have both advantage and disadvantage. And you're already aware of the advantage of those goals, hence why you've set them in the first place, and hence why you're pursuing them in the first place. So what's very important is you start to make yourself aware of some of the drawbacks, risks, and disservices of this particular outcome. So you're no longer infatuated with this idea of the goal, but you start to see the goal for what it truly is. And then what's even more important is you take these drawbacks, these risks that you've identified in each of these goals. For example, one of them with a full-time trader is that you lose a reliable source of income. Okay? One of the drawbacks of trading larger amounts of capital is that you have a greater degree of accountability on each trade, which means greater stress on each trade. And if you have wins, you have bigger, more elating wins. If you have losses, you have bigger, more depressing losses. So the emotional volatility is greater. That's a true drawback of trading more and more capital. And once you're aware of the drawbacks in equal degree to the benefits, you then want to take these drawbacks and you want to plan contingencies. You want to take all these drawbacks that you believe are, true risks to your trading. For example, all right, if I take a loss now, I'm going to be stressed. I'm going to be fearful. That's going to impact maybe my relationships. That's going to impact my performance. It's going to impact my sleep. What are some action steps I can put in place to manage those components? For example, using my trading mindset tools. That'd be a great start. And then one of the drawbacks of being a full-time trader is that you lose a reliable source of income. So what's something I can do in advance to manage that? Maybe something you can do is store 6 months of cash in the bank as secure income there, just in case your trading isn't able to perform for that month or for 2 months or 3 months, or you're not able to perform due to a medical issue or something like that, or sickness, okay? So you're planning contingencies for each of these drawbacks. And what that's going to help do is a few things. Firstly, you're going to have realistic expectations on the goal. You're actually going to be seeing the goal for what it is, as opposed to this idea you've created in your mind you've imposed on the goal. Any idea of all positive, remember what I said, the all positive only exists in a narrow mind. And we create this idea of being a funded or a full-time trader. And we think about all the positives that come with it. And then we then project and impose this fantasy, this idea that we've created in our mind onto the goal. And then what happens is that when you go off and actually pursue it, and you realize the reality of that outcome has both advantage and disadvantage, what happens? You're unprepared for the disadvantages. You're unprepared for the risks and the challenges. Okay? So what this exercise is helping you do is having a realistic perspective on the goal, so you're, and number 2, better prepared and planned for the risks. I hope that makes sense. And it's also going to help alleviate your infatuation with the goal, which means that you're not going to have a lot of stress, you're not going to have a lot of fear, and you're going to be more process-orientated as opposed to outcome-orientated. And in that state of being process-orientated, you're more likely to achieve the goal anyway. Okay? So you set that goal, you've set that outcome, you've broken it down, you've helped yourself set realistic expectations on that goal. And then number 2, the next thing here is we then want to break down that outcome. This is all still outcome-based thinking right here. Right? We want to break down that outcome into a process. And the process is the specific, proven, high-priority actions that you can execute on daily. And this then becomes the process that you adhere to day to day. And by adhering to the process relentlessly, over a period of time, you eventually achieve the outcome. Okay, like we said here, manifestation comes from actually putting time and energy into the goal. So what are the proven action steps that you can do to help you achieve $100,000 in funding, right? We'd start with that one. And then the other 100,000 is very simple. It's exactly the same. And then the third one's a full-time trader. So what are the specific proven action steps that you can do daily to help you achieve that? Well, I mentioned those, but the four before. Number one, edge that you're certain in. Number two, it's everything covered in this YouTube series, by the way. Number two would be a mechanical trading plan. Number three would be the mastery of your mindset. Number four would be the consistent execution of your trading plan with a balanced mindset and structuring your life in a way that allows you to do that. And then, once you start to get pretty good results with that and you're process based in your thinking, you then want to maybe go off and start your first funded challenge. And maybe you start with a demo, or maybe you start with a smaller 10K, and then you move to 100K. And all you're focused on when you're in the 100K is managing your mindset so that you can stick to 2 and 3. You can consistently execute on your trading plan with a balanced mindset. And then once you pass that, you then go for the next one. Maybe then go for a bigger account, 200K account, or 150K for this example, right? And then all of a sudden, 6 months down the line, you've already achieved your goal of now managing $250,000, $300,000 in capital through not obsessing or being so attached to this outcome of all positive outcome, where I've used the analogy quite frequently, where you try and grip onto, you're trying to hold onto a frog, and the tighter you grip that outcome, the more easily that's going to slip out your hands. So it's almost like once you've set the outcome, you've set the specific process, the strategy to get there, you then let go of the outcome. You focus every single day on the proven process, the specific action steps, and in a period of time, you accomplish that outcome. You build yourself into the individual who's managing $250,000. You're not the trader who has gotten funded with $250,000. That's very different. You are the trader who's managing $250,000. It's a different character. It's a different mentality that you've built yourself into, because you're not attached to this goal. You're just focused on doing the action steps daily. It's a big distinction. And then what's next? Once you're managing $250,000, all this time through your part-time, full-time job, through the money you make through your trading, you want to be building up your cash savings, at least six months cash savings. And then 7, you want to start to see proof that your trading income is exceeding your job income, your salary. And you want to double check that you have all the processes in place to manage your mindset and to execute on your system properly through multiple market conditions, and you've tested that. And then you maybe will go from full-time work to part-time work first, and before you then go to full-time trading. And then once you're a full-time trader, you're sticking to the process every single day, and you're also using your free time to build up additional business income. So you're not always dependent on the market for income, on a zero-sum income that can be quite unpredictable at times. Okay? This is the way I think in terms of manifestation. And you can see how that's very different to just closing your eyes and hoping you manifest and hopefully you attract a goal onto your mind. Don't buy into that. You have to work. You have to put work in. Every successful trader, every successful business person that I know worked very, very hard to get what they wanted to get. And by the way, what I love doing, one of the favorite things for me to do every day is I go through my goals. I've got my 7-year plan, and I have a look at the outcome. What are my goals for the next, 7 years, 5 years, 1 year, this quarter? What's the quarterly focus? What's the 1 month sprint? What am I focused on this month? And then, so I review that, and it's very inspiring to see the goals that I have, the outcome-based goals, and underneath them, I've got the process. What are the specific action steps? I remind myself of those. I then have a look at my checklist for the day, and I make sure they're aligned. And every day I'm trying to just move one step closer to that ultimate outcome that I have for myself. And then I go in there and I do some sort of gratitudes as well, just to remind myself of what I do have. And like I've talked about in previous episodes in the series as well, just developing that abundance mindset and that recognition that everything I've ever wanted, I have. And this is just, me going off and holding myself accountable to help more people and to grow in trading and business, in my relationships, in my physical body, in my mental understanding, in my being able to help you guys on a social level with my YouTube and my Instagram and all that type of stuff, just about expanding that to the next level. So I encourage you to take on board what I've shared here in terms of manifestation. If you have ideas for yourself that you would love to manifest into your life, and make it very process-based and action-based, and focus day to day on the action steps, and you'll manifest some really cool things into your life. Okay? If you found this useful, share it with your trading communities. If you haven't already, do the Trading Psychology Archetype Quiz. Thank you for watching to the end. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.